So in today's video, we are capturing a snowflake in resin. Let's go. Right, we are back. We are going to be playing around again with the Vallejo Special Effects Frost paint. Now I have spoken to the company. They've given me a list of locations in the US where you can order this. So hopefully they're in stock somewhere. I have asked them about stocking it on Amazon US, but haven't really got an answer. So we're going to try and crack the snowflake effect. Now this idea came to me kind of in a half asleep state. I had to quickly get up and write it down. So here's a practice run I've done, and what I've used is just some cotton threads, and you can see the crystals growing on it. So this is just an experiment. Some areas are still quite bare, but I'm just going to jump in and experiment. Right, so these, good news, our two favourite moulds now come as a package, a set of two. So we can save ourselves money. We're not going to use the Caversham one. We are just going to be using this one. I'm only going to give it a try, and maybe in this one here. There we go. Nice and shiny new mould. So what I've done is just searched on Google for some snowflakes. I've just got my reel of cotton, so all I'm going to do is cut this to the design that I want in different lengths, and then we'll go from there. There you can see the image that I have downloaded. I'm not going to match that perfectly. This is just an experiment, so do what you want with it. So once I have one of the main lengths for the body, I can then just line that up with the next line of cotton and just cut several of those. So that is the main body. You may find the static starts moving this around, but don't worry at this stage. And then all I did was just randomly cut loads, and then I sorted them afterwards into rough sizes. So I am going to cheat. You can do this with 2-part resin. You have seen me do that with the coasters with the frost effect. I'm just going to use some of the Lech Resin Clear Hard just to give it this, because this will be the front. And I'm going to do mine clear because I want it to look like a real snowflake captured in resin. You can colour your backgrounds if you want. I might colour the thread a little bit, we'll see. And then we just give that a quick cure. So what I did with this one is applied the cotton to the mould and then applied the liquid to the cotton. But I think what I'm going to do is put the solution in this cup and then maybe dip the cotton into that solution and then take it out and lay it onto my piece and straighten it out. And the liquid shouldn't really sit on the resin, it should just want to cling to the cotton, he says. So I'm just going to pour some of it in this cup, and I am going to colour mine with a little bit of sapphire blue alcohol ink. And when I say a little, I've just applied a small amount to this dotting tool. Less is best to begin with, and then add more until it's the colour that you want. So the reason I'm doing it this way is because if we try and draw the snowflake onto resin or onto the mould, you can see it just separates and just goes into this bobbly effect, which is not going to work. So then I just drop my cotton into the solution, pick it up, take it over here, and then lay it onto the resin. Just like that. Then you can just push it down with a little tool and straighten it up. Hopefully this is worth the time that I'm putting into it. I can already see some tiny little crystals starting to grow. You see those already? I've just placed the last long one for the body, and you can already see it's starting to grow these frost effects. Now don't panic, if it doesn't work we can always dab on a small amount more in negative areas. So only by trying these things do we realise that sometimes ideas don't work. So the longer strands that I built for the small areas, they wouldn't bend and stay in place, so I had to cut them in half, and it's taken a little bit longer than expected, but you know, as we progress, you know, it's just an idea. This could be giving you new ideas, which is great, and that's how techniques change and things get quicker. Okay, it's not the straightest or most symmetrical of snowflakes. And there's not a lot of crystal growth on some of the areas, so I'm just using my larger dotting tool and then just dabbing more on, and the cotton will just suck that up. And I'll try and get, if I can, a hyperlapse. I might be a little bit too late for that now, where I've spent some time applying the strands of cotton. As always, massive shout out to my channel members, anyone who's bought me a coffee or a super thanks, it really does help, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. So I'm just quite generously applying more, and I could always add more colour afterwards as well if you've seen my previous videos on this. The solution, once it's dry, it really does suck up the alcohol inks. Right, I'll skip this part and I'll try and get hyperlapse. If not, I'll do it in another one. So hopefully you saw some of the growth in that hyperlapse. Now what I'm going to do is just add a little bit more colour, and I'm hoping this stuff I have to be really careful with, because I just have to move the lid and you can see it floating around. It's so light. It goes everywhere. Let's see that sparkle. So I'm going to add a small amount of this to my existing cup. Hopefully that will give it a nice frosty effect. Hopefully it mixes in as well. And then again, I'm just going to go in with some more colour until I'm happy. So I probably could have done that stage at the beginning and skipped out all this part by just making it a bit bluer and just adding that mica to make the whole process a little bit quicker. So all we need to do now is just wait for everything to dry, and that will continue to grow crystals. Okay, so once you're happy that everything is completely dry, we can then finalise this by just encapsulating that snowflake. And you'll see there's some really good growth, so I think this is going to be the way that it needs to be. So that will be the front facing out. So again, you could do this with 2-part. I'm just doing it for the speed. If you're doing it with UV resin, just bear in mind that you're going to have some micro bubbles. So just use a small needle just to work those out. And what you can also do is cover it for a good few minutes to allow the crystals to absorb the resin and to release those bubbles. So I'm just going to put on a really thin coat to begin with, and then I'll show you about the bubbles. We might not get any, but I think we will. So you can see, just move them out. It doesn't take long at all, but we don't want those bubbles in there at all. So I'm just curing my second layer now, and I will link the other video where I just did a different kind of ice effect. I'll link that at the end of this one. And I haven't filled this right up. It's more to show the process, and you could add this as details to other pieces that you're doing. You could upsize it, downsize it, do whatever you like. But hopefully it will help. That is so cool. So there we go. capturing a snowflake in resin. As always, give the video a thumbs up, drop me a comment, and if you haven't subbed, some 50% of you still haven't subbed to my channel. It is free. I don't charge you to sub to my channel, and I will see you for the next one. Bye for now. And I thought I'd show you the underneath. It doesn't actually look too bad from the underneath, and that is the rounded side. It doesn't look much different. Right, bye for now.